Hi, everybody. Welcome to Coach's Playbook with Paul LaPolice, your home for elite CFL breakdowns and analysis. All right, let's keep talking pass game, different systems. We're going to talk today about horizontal stretches. We've already done a pass clinic on what I call vertical stretches, and I'll put a link above me too so you can go take a look at that, the vertical stretches. We showed a bunch of different teams running it. So this is what I call H-terms, or horizontal stretches. If it has an H in the name of the pass play, it's a horizontal stretch to help the quarterback with his understanding. I've got a couple of sheets here that I'll put above me. You can watch as I also read them. Automatic game plan calls for me to give the quarterback plenty of underneath throws and designed to get the quarterback throws to get in rhythm. This is what I call automatic game plans because they're going to some type of H term is going to be in my game plan each week. And the other thing is I want the quarterback getting rhythm. I'm calling an H throw. Why? Because it's a 5-step drop, curl slide, field triangle progression. What I mean is I'm building a triangle usually to the wide side of the field where he can go to the curl, to the flat, and then I brought somebody back in the quarterback's line of vision to complete a triangle, and I still have a check down to his left. It's a consistent triangle for the quarterback every time. I usually try to put receivers, doesn't matter how they get there, but there's always a curl player, a guy in the flat, there's a guy 2 yards outside the tackle box to complete the triangle, and there's always a check down. However we negotiate that from a receiver standpoint, different motions, movements, but that's what the quarterback gets every time. And it's real simple. He takes a 3-step drop. At the top of his drop, he's either going to throw the curl, the flat. Second hitch, he's going to go ahead and find the last part of the triangle, which is his check down, or he's going to flip his hips and find the other check down. It's a consistent play. For me, in 2017, these are the totals for 2 seasons, 16 and 17. The H terms for me were 97 of 124, 78%, almost 80% completion, 902 yards, 9.3 yard average. So, like I said, these were things I want to get the quarterback in rhythm. I'm calling it. I know he's got a bunch of underneath opportunities because horizontal stretches stretch the width of the field. Normally, teams play 4 or 5 players on the width of the field, and they have some people in the deep parts of the field. Well, there's usually space underneath. You try to overload the underneath with horizontal stretches. I've got an example of a curl slide, what I used to call Hank. You can see the playbook picture. You can see what I'm talking about. We try to build a triangle to the field with what I call a hook, guy in a flat, and then the backside R is going to be our check down, and then we have the back as another check down. And then, there's multiple different ways to run it, multiple different ways to do. Now, we're going to watch some film. Every time I saw one of the other teams when I watched my film from CFL last year, I got clips of Montreal, I got clips of Edmonton, different teams running horizontal stretches. Now, it may not look exactly like the pictures I just put up, but they are horizontal stretches reading the width of the field. Now, before I go, please turn notifications on. It helps support the page. Subscribe, turn notifications on. You'll get alerted as new stuffs are coming. And again, we appreciate your help and support it. So let's open the playbook on horizontal stretches. First of all, to understand how you're going to attack zone coverages or how you're going to attack the width of the field or you're going to stretch them horizontally, you got to identify where defenders are. Defenses and offenses use terminology. So the flat term, which you see on the left-hand side of the screen and the right-hand side, is the widest part of the football field. Those are called the flats. That's anywhere from 1 yard all the way up to about 10 yards. The next area inside, which is used to be in the old hash marks out by the hash mark area. Since the hash mark's been moved, it's a little different, but it's called the curl area. So the curl area is now inside the numbers, and the curl area could be anywhere up to about 12 yards depth, and that's basically to the field as well as to the boundary, as you can see the two terms that say curl. The hook area is just inside the curl area. There's some space in between. There's a hook to the boundary. There's a hook to the field. Again, those are underneath from 1 yard all the way up to about 12 yards. And then there's, some people call this a hole player, the whole area of the field, which would be the middle of the field, the area over the football, to the left of the center, to the right of the center, or the area in between the tackles is having somebody in the hole area. And then again, if you look to the boundary, it's similar to the field. You have a hook to the boundary, you have a curl to the boundary, you have the flat to the boundaries. So that's the underneath coverage. And when you hear players talk about, as we start drawing on here, let me pause it and draw, you'll hear these terms often said in pro football. Is this player is working curl to the flat. And what that means is he's going to stay in the deeper area of the field, the curl area that can go all the way up to 12, as long as possible and react to the flat. When they call a player, he is a hook to curl player, that player is staying in the hook as long as he can, and then he's going to push from the hook to the curl area. Same thing over here. Let's say this player is a curl flat player. He's going to stay on the deeper route until he has to leave. Hook to curl right there, and so and so and so. So sometimes you hear people just say the term, this guy is a flat player. Okay, so he's a flat player. Let's call this player, he's going to just stay in the flat area. He's a flat player. He's going to stay in the flat area. So that's how you identify these spots on the field, and that's what players have to have an understanding. Coaches have to have an understanding in how they're going to attack people. So now let's go ahead and look at this cut up and see how teams attack the width of the field horizontally. So Edmonton right here, watch what they're running. They got 15-yard curls and a huge throw out to the sideline for a 15-yard gain with a lot of space. So let's go through and see what's happening. Pause it right here. You're going to have a 15-yard curl to wrap in here. You're going to have a 15-yard curl right here. And you're going to have a player sitting out here at 6 yards. This is basically what you would call a horizontal stretch to the wide side of the field. So they're placing a player in the curl and in the flat, and they're expecting not enough people to be there. And let's try to draw and educate you what the coverage is. This is a different coverage. So this is a form of cover 4. There's 4 people deep. That's a deep player. That's a deep player. That's a deep player. That's a deep player. So if you can see those guys, they're declaring to be deep football players. Those are the 4 deep. You got 4 rushing. That's 8. You got 4 left. So they have to handle all the underneath coverages we just showed you. Watch how they do it. This is a little bit different. This is called trap, where the corner goes in to play curl to flat, and the corner goes in. These guys are hook players, and you have curl flat players. So I'm going to pause it right here. The player that went from a position to go cover the curl, there's nobody for the flat player. He's a deep quarter player. He's a deep quarter player. They have a hook player. They have a curl player. They do not have a flat player. Very good recognition. You have to have a quarterback with a strong arm in a CFL, and there's the throw. Throw it outside. All zone defense, there is a weakness to it. It's just whether the quarterback has a play designed and recognizes it. So let's see it from this angle. See how fast and quickly McLeod's looking. Do I have the inside throws? No, there's somebody in the hook. There's somebody in the curl. Throw it to the flat. And a big gain because there's a lot of space. Let's watch it from this angle. All right, there's the pictures again. If you remember, flat, curl, hook. So what happened is this player went in to take the curl. That player went to the deep quarter. So this player took the hook. So there was nobody out here. And you can see it from that picture for the quarterback. He sees it immediately. He sees everybody's inside. I'm throwing outside. Easy throw. I don't want to say it's an easy throw. That's a monster throw in our league. It's a long way to the outside. Big first down. Okay, next one. Very similar concept, if not the exact same concept. And this is the same play. So let's go to another one. Okay. Very different game. Pretty much the same football play. Watch what happens here. Trey Ford this time takes the inside throw. He takes the curl throw for a touchdown. So let's review what happened here. So again, we have a player coming into the hook area. We have a player sitting at the curl area. And we have a player working out into the flat. All right. And what does Trey see? He sees a deep player. He sees a deep player. And this curl player is in the curl. He's hanging where the curl area is. What does he do? He expands to the flat player because he sees him. And nobody goes from the hook area to the curl. That's a term you hear, go from hook to curl. So as the after the low player expands, you throw inside. Good recognition. 2 deep players, 1 underneath. The previous play, they stayed in on that one. Gave that throw up. Now he's expanding. Give up this one. What you want to do is force him to throw the widest throw, but I like the recognition by Trey. Let's go from this angle so you can see it right now. In the curl area, there's 2 people. Now there's 1 person because he turned his shoulders and sprinted to there. He's a deep third player. He's a deep third player. The hook player stayed inside. He did not expand. You would like this player to expand from hook to the curl to make this throw harder. Easy throw and catch. Most plays have a man answer and a zone answer. This is one of those opportunities. This is a horizontal stretch. This is an amazing catch by Philpot early in the year, by Tyson Philpot. So let's talk about this. This is a horizontal stretch. They just don't get the coverage of zone. So you've got a curl, and we've got an out. So we are stretching this part of the field horizontally. And why we're doing that is because they're expecting that guy, if this was a zone concept and he was a high player and he was a high player, well, if he jumped the curl and he was in the deep third, there'd be nobody for the flat. That's the basis of you're attacking this side of the field. Now, there's a player that comes in here, and then there's some players that come across. What this is, hey, if you recognize it's man, which I'm sure with all these players rushing, Cody recognized it immediately. He says, you know what? I've got a guy playing off depth. I can throw the ball on the outside. So you see him actually change his drop and immediately throw to the wide side of the field. And huge catch by Tyson there. And that's another, this could have been, if it was a zone concept, he would have read what the low player did. It's man. He takes the best throw he can take in man. You can watch this, seeing all these people at the line of scrimmage. All right, he's thinking it's going to be a pressure look. And they do get it off in time with a quick throw. I got one more angle of this. You can see right here. Let's call this, what if this was a cover 3? That guy's in the deep third. This is our curl to the flat player. That's what the picture would have looked like. It wasn't that. It's a pressure look. He throws the ball immediately on the outside. Nice catch. Let's take a look at this from Montreal once again with a throw out to the flat, exposing zone coverage here. Let's go through and go talk about a couple of points here. So sometimes you can go to your zone from depth, and that's what happens here. The hook player comes from depth. Sometimes there's combination coverages. So there are 4 down linemen. Here's a 5th rusher. One of the linebackers rush. So they're giving up a zone area underneath. Or they're saying, we will man this side of the field. I'm not sure what they're trying to do. It kind of looks like they're manned up over here and trying to sort out what they're doing. But I know to the wide side of the field they're playing zone. So you have a player going up to this space, you have a player running a curl, and you have a player immediately going to the flat. So when you do this, you got to read what's happening. So this player is inside, so he's a hook player. He's staying in the hook, and he's going to stay on this player. Here's our hole player. Okay, and we have 2 left. This corner started out low. When the ball snapped, he starts bailing. So he's going to be a deep player, third player, quarter player, whatever you want to call him. All right, and here's our curl player. Okay, remember the curl was inside the numbers. Okay, working inside the numbers. And watch what he does. He stays in the curl. Why? Because you want to throw the underneath route. You want to stay on the deep route and give up the underneath route and rally to it. And that's what happens exactly here. Cody recognizes it, throws it all the way outside. I think that's Rambo. Gets this nice throw on the perimeter, and it's a first down. Watch it from this angle. Not the greatest angle here. All right, but watch this player, what he does. He gets depth. If he gets depth, you teach the quarterback throw for width. If he gets width immediately, you throw for depth. So good read, good throw on the outside, good first down. So watch Ottawa here with another horizontal stretch. Got good man answers, good zone answers. I call this hooper. A lot of people call this shark or bite. So what's happening is it's a stretch on the flat player. No different. Still a horizontal stretch. A little different is they've got a vertical control. So they put a guy deep. They put a guy on a curl, but it starts to run a corner route, and then he sits it down. So you're trying to show 3 steps like he's running a corner route, and then you sit it down, and you have a hitch on the outside. Okay, that's the pattern concept. So you have a deep player, and you have a flat player. See, this player has worked for width. He's got depth, but he's not in the curl area. And this underneath player should be pushing for more depth, I think, to the curl area. He appears to be a hook. Hang on the hook. When nobody is in the hook area, go to the curl. But he gets too flat. He took width steps. Quarterback throws it right there. Good read by Drew Brown here. So this is an easy read on the flat player. Flat player expands. As long as the hook player is underneath it, I can take this shot. A little bit deeper, still a curl slide read. Let's go from this angle. You can see it. All right, we're going to be over here. So watch what this player does. He's in the deep area. You don't have to worry about him, and he's closer to him. And this player's too shallow underneath. He does not work to the curl. And he does not I don't know where he is in his own spot. Okay, he's kind of working to the curl. He's just too shallow. Gets more depth, he can be involved in that throw. So good play by the Red Blacks. Great example of keep running the same plays. I love Tommy Condell does this because you let your quarterback see pictures and then throw the football. Okay, nice catch. I believe that's Gardner out there. Watch what happens here. All right, on the snap, we're going to get the same thing. A guy in the deep area, a guy here and down, and a guy in the flat. So that's the same concept we just talked about on the previous play. Now, Winnipeg handles it a little bit differently, and you can kind of see how this throw develops. I'll pause it right here. All right. You can see him pushing and getting depth, and he gets depth. So those two are not underneath zone players. When you stretch the field horizontally, you're stretching the underneath coverage. So you have 2 deep players. Big Hill right here is a hook player, and that is the curl flat player. You'll see him start high and then work down to his space. And what happened is he stayed in the curl. And he's deep in that space. Watch Big Hill. He's still in the hook. That's the hook. That's the curl. Where's the flat player? There isn't one. In zone defense, you always give up an area of the field. Drew sees it, gets the ball out in space. And again, the hard thing sometimes is when you come downhill to cover your zones, you get out of control, and you can get a good gain right there for Ottawa. Let's go to this angle here. We're going to be in the same spot. Okay, he went deep. He's got to get over the top of that route. And if he ran to the flat, quarterback's going to throw just like he did the previous play. So what's got to happen is Big Hill's got to threaten that a little bit so he can make a play. He's got to hang long enough and then disappear, but it's hard. And a good broken tackle, big first down. Same concept, just a little different tweak to it with a third receiver out. And this has got a little bit more of a horizontal stretch instead of a vertical stretch. And it's the same bite route where it's a corner route and then you come back to a curl, big gain on the outside. But the coverage is a little bit different. This is now man coverage. He's got him man to man. He's got him man to man. The linebacker, I think this linebacker is going to leave and come take that one. So everybody's man to man over here. And what's good about this route is that route can push the defender and back him up, and then you come down your stem. So that's what happens right here. And what's a pretty picture for the quarterback is that player runs out of the way. This player runs out of the way. There's your window to throw the football. So good recognition here by Vernon, getting this throw, seeing all this window open up. Now, if that player was late and that player was late and was hanging in here, well, you would throw the outflank. And if this was a zone structure, you'd just kind of read out what happened with the flat player. But these plays you can run versus multiple pictures and multiple looks. So a couple of different ways of running horizontal stretches. That's what you mean when you hear defenses go curl flat, hook to curl, hole player. When you hear coaches talking about that, or when you hear players talk about, I should have been in the hole, I should have been in a hook to curl, I was late on the curl, that's what zone defense is trying to exploit.